Hello everyone. In this video, we will study the extensions of tapering rod and the bars of composite sections. Okay, in previous video we have studied the 2, 3 and 1 dimensional stress system and also some numericals for the compound sections of bar or bars of varying sections. Okay, now you have already studied what is strain, what is strain, what is Young's modulus, and also Poisson's ratio, longitudinal strain, lateral strain, etc. Okay, now we'll moving further for the extensions of tapering rod. In this figure, you can see that this rod having diameter at one end d1 and at second end d2, it is continuously tapers from d1 to d2. Tapering rod means what? The rod which is having non-uniform diameter or non-uniform dimensions. Okay, that means diameter ये जो rod है उस रॉड की डायमीटर एक एंड से दूसरी एंड तक कंटिन्यूअसली टेपर हो रही, दैट मीन्स डिक्रीज हो रही है. सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस रॉड इज कॉल्ड एज अ tapering rod. Okay, now here the force P is acting, which is a tensile force. That means that this force is pulling this whole member at the outward direction. Okay, this is a pull force P which is acting at the both ends of the tapering rods. Now here we can consider a elemental length dx of the bar at distance x from the d1 end, that is larger end. Now let the diameter of this bar be d dash, that means this end, that's I have highlighted this. So let the diameter of the bar at this is d1 from the d dash from the d1 end. Okay, now how to find out this diameter, that is d dash? How to find out the value of d dash? We can find out this value of d dash by using the formula of interpolation. That means interpolation formula we can use for two quantities or three quantities to find out the unknown quantity. Okay, so use that formula and find out the value of d dash. Okay, so d dash equals to d1 minus, in bracket, d1 minus d2 upon L into x. That means this upper limit minus this lower limit divided by whole distance between these two limits and into the distance of the unknown quantity from the one end. Okay, if you are finding the unknown quantity's length from d2, so we have to find out the distance of this d dash from d2. Okay, but we have assumed that this bar is having x distance from larger end, so we have considered here x. Okay, interpolation formula is very simple, you can easily understand it, and this is the very simple mathematical calculation. Okay, now here in this formula we can consider this whole figure as k, does it d1 minus d2 upon L equals to k. So this formula will become d dash equals to d1 minus kx. That means this whole thing will get converted into k. So d dash equals to d1 minus k into x. Now cross sectional area at the distance, that means that cross sectional area of that part can be calculated as that is a rod. So we can consider the formula for circle, that means pi by 4 d square, but here d is d dash. So a dash equals to pi by 4 d dash square. d dash की वैल्यू क्या है यहाँ पे d1 minus kx. So put that in that formula, we'll get pi by 4 d1 minus kx bracket square. This will be your area of that section. So we can find out the stress intensity. Okay, we have force P and here area we have already calculated. So force upon area will get the intensity of stress. So that P dash equals to P upon A dash. P is as usual P because the force is P which is acting at the tensile direction. Okay, So area is here pi by 4 d1 minus kx bracket square. That 4 will be converted into numerator value. So 4p upon pi d1 minus kx bracket square will be your stress intensity. Okay, now from stress intensity we can find out the strain by using Young's modulus equation. Young's modulus is nothing but your stress upon strain, that means tensile stress upon tensile strain or compressive stress upon compressive strain. Here we have tensile, so tensile stress upon टेंसाइल स्ट्रेन विल बी योर यंग्स मॉडुलस. ओके, नाउ यंग्स मॉडुलस की वैल्यू हम लोग को पता होती है और वो न्यूमेरिकल में भी दी होती है. सो वी कैन फाइंड आउट द स्ट्रेन इंटेंसिटी एज ई डैश इक्वल्स टू पी डैश अपॉन ई. That means 4p upon pi e d1 minus kx bracket square. ओके, नाउ जो हम लोग ने इलेमेंटल लेंथ ली थी उस इलेमेंटल लेंथ का जो एक्सटेंशन होगा, दैट मीन्स अभी कोई तो फोर्स उस पर एक्ट हो रहा है, दैट मीन्स क्या होगा कि एक्सटेंशन होगा. अभी उस पार्ट पे जो एक्सटेंशन होगा वो रिलेटिवली स्मॉल क्वांटिटी में एक्सटेंशन होगा. ओके, और जो होल बार में एक्सटेंशन होगा वो क्या होगा, एलिमेंटल लेंथ के हिसाब से वो एक्सटेंशन थोड़ा लार्जर क्वांटिटी में होगा. So that here we have considered the elemental length. So we have first what we have to do, first we have to calculate the extension for that elemental length, that means dx. Now dx equals to e dash into dx. Okay, dx here we have simply calculating the derivative of that extension. Okay, we have calculated the strain value, so derive that strain value and find out the extension for elemental length. Okay, now by using the extension of elemental length we can find out the total extension of the bar. Okay, now derivation and the integration are both opposite quantities. That means स्मॉल क्वांटिटी के लिए फाइंड आउट करना है तो वी कैन डिराइव दैट क्वांटिटी एंड फ्रॉम वन एंड टू अनदर एंड वी if suppose that we have to find out some quantity from one end to another end, we have to integrate that value. Okay, that means we have to take the limit of one end from another end. So here what I have done, the total extension of bar can be calculated by using the integration of this extension. Okay, that extension of elemental length. So here I have written delta equals to 4p upon pi is the constant value, so it can be uh, outside of the integration. So integration of dx upon d1 minus kx ब्रैकेट स्क्वायर. नाउ इंटीग्रेशन का लिमिट क्या होगा यहाँ पे, तो जो भी लेंथ है उस रॉड की, अब रॉड की लेंथ क्या है, एल लेंथ है, तो फ्रॉम 0 टू एल वी कैन इंटीग्रेट द होल रॉड. ओके, सो ये इंटीग्रेशन समझ में आया, आई होप. So we can integrate this. Now this is the 1 upon x. We can here apply the formula for 1 upon x. Now it is a simple mathematical calculation. I'll not going to explain this. By simply mathematical calculate this and find out the value of integration. Now this integration value is 4p upon pi e k into bracket 1 upon d1 minus kl minus 1 upon d1. Now but k is nothing but d1 minus d2 upon l. This value is assumed value. Okay, so put that in the above equation and you will get, by calculating it mathematically and simply rearranging, will get delta equals to 4pl upon pi e d1 d2. Now if suppose that the for particular case the bar is having uniform diameter and some other dimension is changing, so what happened, d1 and d2 will be equal. Okay, so we can assume that d1 equals to d2 equals to d. Now for this case the formula will become delta equals to 4pl upon pi e 4pl upon pi e d square. Okay, 4p, you will see that 4pl upon pi e d square will be your delta. Okay, delta is nothing but your extension. You have to remember this formula, 4p 4pl upon pi e d square. Now, and if suppose d is not equal, d1 is not equal to d2, the formula will become 4pl upon pi e d1 d2. Okay, now we'll move further for the numerical. The first numerical is a rod tapers uniformly from 30 mm to 15 mm diameter in length of 300 mm. Okay, if the rod be subjected to an axial load of 6000 newtons, find the extension of rod. Take E equals to 2 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per meters mm square. Now here they have given that the rod is tapering uniformly from 30 mm to 50 mm. Okay, that means at one end the length diameter is 30 and here the diameter is 15, and from this end to this end the rod is tapering, and from this end to this end again the rod is tapering. Okay, now the length of this rod is 300 mm and a rod is subjected to an axial load of 6000 newtons. Okay, now we have to find out the extension, that means delta, and E value they have given as 2 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm square. Now we have the formula as delta equals to 4pl upon pi e d1 d2. We have to put only the values of all these quantities, that is 4 we have known, the p is nothing but 6000 newtons, l that means the length of rod is 300 mm, e is nothing but 2 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm, d1 is 30 mm and d2 is 15 mm. Now all the quantities are in newtons and mm, so don't no need of any conversion here. Simply put all the values in formula and you will get the value of delta equals to 0.025 mm. This is the very simple example or a basic example. I hope you will understand this. Now the second example, a 2-meter long steel bar has a uniform diameter of 40 mm for a length of 1 meters from one end. For the next 0.50 meters, the length of diameter decreases uniformly to d. For the remaining 0.50 meters length, it has a uniform diameter of d meters. When a load of 150 kilonewtons is applied, the observed extension is 2.40 mm. Determine the diameter d. Take modulus of elasticity for steel equals to 200 kilonewtons per mm square. That means 2 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm square. Now here they have given that a rod, this rod is having total length of 2 meters. That means this part is having 1 meters length and this whole part is having 1 meters length, and again it is divided into 0.5 and 0.5 meters. Okay, now the diameter for this is uniformly decreasing from 400 to d. Okay, now for first 1 meter length the diameter is 400 mm. Okay, and for remaining it is d. Now here what happened, 400 diameter is changing from 400 to here d. Okay, now first 1 meter length it is continuous, and for second 50 meters it is decreasing from 400 to d, and for third part it is continuously a d value. Okay, now Here the force of 150 kilonewtons is applied at the both ends. Another force is tensile force, that is pulling the whole member and in outward direction. Now we'll find out for first this part, second this part, and again for third this part. We have to find out the separate extensions. Okay, now for first A to B, we'll calculate the extension as pi by 4, sorry, 4p upon pi e d square. Okay, here I have used d square because the 400 diameter is obviously same for both the ends, at A end and at B end also. So here it is 4p upon pi e, 4pl upon pi e d square will get 0.596 mm. Now for second extension of part BC, here at B the diameter is 400 and at C the diameter is D. Therefore diameter are changing. So we'll use the formula 4PL upon pi E D1 into D2, and here D1 is 40 and D2 is D. So put it in the formula, you'll get 11.9366 upon D. Now the extension for part CD. Now for this, from this figure you will see that for CD the bar is uniform, that means the diameter is D here and the diameter is D here too. So the D1 and D2 will be same and equal. So directly I can write here D square, and the value will get 477.46 upon D square mm as the extension of part CD. Now the total extension is the summation of all these three extensions. That means we can sum up the first extension AB, second extension BC, and third extension CD. So we'll get the value as 240 mm. Okay, now this 240 mm they have given. Okay, total extension is 240 mm they have given. So we have to find out from this whole formula the value of D. Now simply rearrange these whole things and calculate the value of D. Here you will get the second degree equation, that is D square 6.61 D minus 264.78 equals to 0. This is the second degree equation. Now from this, we'll by using any of the method you can find out the D value. D value is 19.91. Now this these all these examples are very simple, but you simply remember all the mathematical calculations, how to solve this second degree equation and all, how to apply the interpolation formula for two limits, how to apply the integration, and how to apply the derivation. Okay, that things you have to remember, which is very basic mathematical equations. Now this example is very much similar to that of our first problem, theory problem. This is a bar of steel is of length L and is of uniform thickness T. The width of the bar varies uniformly from A at one end and to B at another end. Find the extension of rod when it carries an axial pull P. Okay, the diagram is also same as that of theory. Now consider any section XX at the distance x from the bigger end. Width of that section will be a minus, here the interpolation formula I have used, a minus b upon L into x, which is equal to a minus kx. That means I have considered this whole thing as k. Okay, now the thickness of that section is T. Now area will be thickness into your width. So I'll multiply the both, and the stress at that section will be pull force P divided by this area. Now the extension of elemental length will be the derivation of this formula, and the total extension will be the integration of this formula. Okay, you'll get the value as this: PL upon ET up into A minus B log of E A upon B. This diagram is somewhat similar to that of your theory. Okay, so based on this, the second problem is a straight bar of steel, rectangular in section, is 3 meters long and is of uniform thickness. Here the thickness of rod is uniform. This should be highlighted. 15 mm of thickness, uniform thickness. The width of that rod varies uniformly from 100 mm at one end to 40 mm at another end. If rod is subjected to an axial tensile load of 30 kilonewtons, find the extension of rod. E equals to 2 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm square. Now extension of that rod can be calculated from the this theory. That means delta equals to PL upon ET A minus B log of E A upon B. Okay, now here P they have given as 30 kilonewton, that is 3 into 10 raised to 30 into 10 raised to 3 newtons. T they have given thickness is uniform, which is 15 mm. L is 3000 mm. Area of that rod is 100 mm. Sorry, A that is thickness at width at one end is A, which is 100 mm, and at B, which is 40 mm, and E they have given as 2 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm square. Now put all quantities in this equation. You'll get the value of delta, which is total extension of that rod, as 0.458 mm, which is very negligible. That is in mm, 1 mm is also, the value of extension is not in 1 mm also, okay, which is in 0.45 mm. Now the second part is bars of composite sections. Now the second part is bars of composite sections. Okay. Now bars of composite sections means the bars which is having concrete infield or concrete bars in that sections. Now suppose the cross section of member consists of different material. That means if some metal rods are in impressed in that section, so that bar will be a composite section. Now the load applied on the member will be shared by both the or any members or components, all the components of that sections. Okay, now for instance, suppose a column consists of an outer tube area as A1 and Young's modulus at that outer area as E1. Now, inner tube area A2 and the Young's modulus of inner tube area will be E2. Okay. Now, here we have considered a column which is having inner and outer areas and inner and outer Young's modulus. Okay. Now, the length of that column will be L. Now, here we have supposed that the load P, this load P is applied on that column which is shared by inner and outer both the tubes. Now as inner and outer both tubes are sharing that P load, both the tubes can be having stresses and strains. Okay, so the load on we can consider the stress at inner and outer at outer and inner as P1 and P2 respectively. Okay, so load on outer tube plus load on inner tube will be the total load on column. Okay, total load on column क्या होगा, जो inner है और जो outer tube है, जो both tubes sharing the load which is summation of the total load. Okay, so P1A1 plus P2A2 will be equal to your total load. How to calculate this? We have calculated this by using the formula of stress. Okay, here stress is considered as P1 and load is P. So stress can be P upon A1, P upon A1. That means load can be P1 into A1. That means cross multiplication. So P1 into A1 as the total load of outer tube and P2A2 as the total load of inner tube. And the column column total load is P. Now uh, dl will be the small decrease in the length of that column. Okay, so the strength by using the usual formula, that means that is dl upon l, change in length upon original length, will be your strain. Here we have calculated stress. Here the strain is change in length upon your original length, but by using Young's modulus, E can be calculated as your stress upon strain. Okay, so Young's strain is stress upon Young's modulus of inner and stress upon Young's modulus of outer. These both can be equal in magnitude. So P1 upon E1 equals to P2 upon E2. Now from equation this stress and this strain, we can compute the value of P1 P2 as P1 equals to E1 upon E2 into P2. Here E1 upon E2 is nothing but your modular ratio. Okay, now this is very simple. You can move further for the numericals. Now here a compound tube consists of a steel tube, compound tube. Here compound tube should be highlighted, which is consist of a steel tube, 150 mm internal diameter and 10 mm thickness. Okay, and on outer brass tube, 170 mm internal diameter and 10 mm thickness. Okay, compound tube which is having a steel tube and also a brass tube. Okay, steel tube is having 150 internal, 10 mm thickness, and brass tube is having 170 mm internal and 10 mm thickness. Okay, now these two tubes are of same length. The compound tube carries an axial load of 1000 kilonewton. Find the stresses and the load carried by each tube and the amount it shortens. The length of each tube is 150 mm. Take ES, that means Young's modulus for steel, equals to 2 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm square, and EB, that is Young's modulus of brass, equals to 1 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm square. Now here जो स्टील ट्यूब है, स्टील ट्यूब का डायमेंशन क्या है, 150 mm इंटरनल और उसकी थिकनेस 10 mm. उसी के एज पे ब्रास ट्यूब फिट है विच इज 170 mm इंटरनल एंड 10 mm थिकनेस. दैट मीन्स अगर ब्रास ट्यूब का एरिया कैलकुलेट करना हुआ तो लिमिट कहाँ तक लेंगे हम लोग, 170 प्लस 10 प्लस 10, 180, 190. दैट मीन्स 190 is the outer limit. Okay, now we'll calculate the area of steel tube. Okay, now steel tube, find out area of steel tube, we have to take the diameters. Okay, the diameter will be pi by 4, 170 square minus 150 square. जो इसके बीच में होगा वो डायमीटर होगा स्टील ट्यूब का. Okay, so 170 square minus 150 square will be the diameter. Now for brass tube, 190, that means 170 plus 10 plus 10 will be 190. 190 square minus 170 square. By using this, we'll find out the area of brass tube. Okay, so A1 and A2 will get. Now let the stresses in steel and brass be PS and PB newtons per mm square respectively. So strain in steel will be PS upon ES and will be equal to the strain in brass. So PB upon ES. So by using this, we'll find out the value of PS as ES upon EB into PB. ES and EB, the value of ES and EB is 2 into 10 raised to 5 divided by 1 into 10 raised to 5. 10 raised to 5, 10 raised to 5 will get cancelled and remaining value is only 2. So, sorry, now. So here I have written as a PS equals to ES upon EB into PB as 2 PB. Okay. Now by the formula, load on steel plus load on bar equals to the load on total column. Okay, so load will be PS into AS plus PB into AB equals to P. This is your usual formula. Put all quantities in this formula. You'll get the value of PB. PS की जगह क्या पुट करना है आपको? 2 PB पुट करना है. That means PS will be equal to PB. A की quantity unknown रहेगी यहाँ पे, so that we can find out easily the value of PB. Now by using the value of PB, put it in PS equals to 2BB formula, you'll get the value of uh, steel also. Okay. Now the brass tube, load on brass tube will be PB equals to PB into AB. ओके, पीबी की वैल्यू आपको मिल गई है 63.66 एंड एरिया वी हैव ऑलरेडी कैलकुलेटेड, सो दैट लोड ऑन ब्रास ट्यूब will be 360.04 kilonewtons. Now the load on steel tube will be, they have given that the total load should not exceed 1000 kilonewtons. So we have calculated the load on brass tube. New We can subtract that 360 from total 1000 kilonewtons. We'll get the load on steel tube as 640 kilonewtons. Okay, why I have calculated the brass tube load first? Because brass tube is at the outer edge and steel tube is at the inner edge. Okay, so decrease in length of compound tube will be decrease in length of either of the tube, either in brass or either in स्टील. जो भी डिक्रीज होगी वो डिक्रीज किस में होगी? होल ट्यूब में डिक्रीज होगी. सो दैट डिक्रीज इज कैलकुलेटेड बाय पीबी अपॉन ईबी इंटू एल. ओके, पीबी अपॉन ईबी इंटू एल. दिस इज ऑल्सो यूजुअल फॉर्मूला फ्रॉम दैट equations. We'll get 0.095 mm of decrease. Okay, now this in second numerical we'll have a compound bar which is having reinforcement. Okay, a reinforced concrete column is 300 mm into 300 mm in section. The column is provided with 8 bars of 20 mm diameters. The column carries a load of 360 kilonewtons. Find the stresses in concrete and steel bar. ES 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 and EC is 0.14 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm square. Now for area of steel bars, they have given the diameter as 20 mm and number is 8. So whole area can be multiplied by 8. We'll get the area of total area of steel bars as 2514 mm square. Now the actual area of concrete will be, they have given the column as 300 mm into 300 mm in dimensions. So here the area of only concrete column will be 300 mm into 300 mm, but the actual area will be 300 mm into 300 mm, that is 300 square minus 2514, that is the area of steel. Actual area of concrete will be the area of column minus area of steel will be your area of concrete. Now the stresses in steel and stresses in concrete will be assumed as PS and PC respectively. Okay, so by using again the formula of compound section area or compound section strains, we can calculate strain in concrete will be equal to the strain in steel. By using Young's modulus formula, E1 equals to E2 as EC equals to ES. That means PC upon EC equals to PS upon ES. By using these formulas, we can find out the value of PS as 15 PC. Okay, by using normal mathematical calculations, PS is 15 into PC. Okay, from this step, the second step is load on steel plus load on concrete equals to the total load on column. Okay, load on steel can be calculated as PS into AS. That means your stress into area plus stress into area of concrete plus your total load on column. Now by using this, we'll get the load on concrete is 2.87 and load on steel is 43.05 newtons per mm square. Okay, this will be your total loads. Okay, now here this example is also very simple, but I'll simply highlight this. A load of 270 kilonewtons is applied on a short concrete column of 250 mm into 250 mm. The column is reinforced with 8 bars of 16 mm diameter. If the modulus of elasticity for steel is 18 times that of concrete, find the stresses in concrete and steel. If the stress in concrete shall not exceed 4 newtons per mm square, find the area of steel required so that the column may not support a load of 400 kilonewtons. Okay, now here what they have given, a load of 270 kilonewtons is applied on a short column. Okay, now that column dimensions is 250 by 250. Now this column is reinforced with 8 bars of 16 mm diameter steel bars. Okay, the diameter of that bars is 16 mm and the number is 8. If modulus of elasticity for that steel bars is 18 times that of the concrete, find the stresses in concrete and steel. Now, if the stress in concrete shall not exceed 4 newtons per mm square, find the area of steel required so that the column may support a load of 400 kilonewtons. That means 400 kilonewtons का लोड सपोर्ट करने के लिए क्या होना चाहिए, स्ट्रेस इन कंक्रीट 4 न्यूटन्स पर mm स्क्वायर से एक्सीड नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, now for first condition, that means up to this part we'll find out the stress in concrete and steel. Now first, when column carries a load of 270 mm. Okay, now for this case, area of steel will be, as they have given as 8 numbers, 8 numbers of 8 numbers of that bars. So area of steel will be 8 into pi by 4 16 square. Okay, now area of concrete will be column area minus your steel area. Okay, column area minus your steel area will be the area of concrete. Now, as usual, the stresses in steel and concrete will assume as PS and PC respectively. So, by using a formula of composite sections, strain in steel equals to the strain in concrete. That means PS upon ES equals to PC upon EC. Now, simply rearranging this, we'll get PS equals to ES upon EC into PC. Now, here they have given that the Young's modulus for steel is 18 times that of concrete. That means 18 uh, sorry 18 ES upon, here EC will be your again ES. That means ES get cancelled and remaining value will be only 18. So PS equals to 18 into PC. This will be your highlighted equation. Now again, next to this, the step will be load on steel plus load on your concrete will be equals to the total load on column. Okay, so by using the formula for stress, we'll find out the value of PC as 3 newtons per mm square and PS as PC into 18. So 54 newtons per mm square. This is for the first case. That means when the column carries a load of 270 kilonewtons. But the second condition is when the column have to carry the load of 400 kilonewtons. Now here we can consider the area of steel as AS mm square. Now the area of concrete will be the total area of your column minus this area of steel. Now the since in stress in concrete will be PC, they have given as 4 newtons per mm square. Now the stress in steel will be, they have already given that modulus of elasticity should be 18 times. So 18 into 4 will be 72. Sorry, this is somehow wrong. 72 newtons per mm square. So the next step for from this is load on steel plus load on concrete equals to load on column. So put all the quantities in this equation. We will get the area of steel as 2205.9 newtons per mm, sorry, mm square. Now area of steel for that stress value is 2200 mm square. Okay, I hope you understand this composite section examples. This is very simple. I'll not explain this. We'll move further for the next one. This is also a very simple example. A solid steel bar of 500 mm long and 70 mm diameter is placed inside an aluminum tube having 75 mm inside diameter and 100 mm outside diameter. The aluminum cylinder is 0.15 meter longer than the steel bar. An axial load of 600 kilonewton is applied to the bar and the cylinder through rigid cover plates. Find the stress developed in steel bar and the aluminum tube. They have given Young's modulus for steel and concrete as 2.2 and 2.7 into 10 raised to 5 newtons per mm square. As usual, we have to first find out the area of steel as AS pi by 4 into, they have given the diameter, and area of aluminum tube as this. Okay, now this figure shows that original dimension of steel bar and the aluminum tube. Okay, now let the aluminum tube be compressed by delta mm. Okay, they have given that the aluminum tube is compressing, so the delta mm of compression is there. Now the steel bar is compressed by delta minus 0.5. Okay, because this value 0.15 they have already given. Now the strain in steel will be, ES will be change in length into upon original length. Here change in length, strain in steel will be delta minus 0.15 divided by your original length is 500 mm. Now the strain in aluminium will be same, but here will be delta upon 500.15. Okay, here 0.15 I have given because the length is increased. Original length here is by increasing by 0.15. Okay, now the strain in steel will be, by using Young's modulus equation, you will get Es into Es of value. Okay, so the strain in steel will be the we have already calculated as delta minus 0.15440 newtons per mm square, and the strain in aluminium as, by using same formula as 140 delta newtons per mm square. Up next to this, the load on steel plus load on column will be equal to the total load on composite section formula we have to use. By putting all the required quantities, you will get the value of delta as 0.3928 mm, and the stress in steel, by using the value of delta, you will get the stress in steel as 106.8 newtons per mm square, and the steel in stress in aluminium as 54.99 newtons per mm square. Okay, now the next part is equivalent area of compound section. Here a compound column is given which is consist of a reinforced steel bar. Overall area of this is capital A, and area of steel will be your AS. Now AS will be your area of steel, so actual area of concrete will be AC equals to A minus AS. That means overall area of your column minus area of steel will be actual area of concrete. Okay, the formula will be same as we have calculated in previous examples and previous theory. Let the stresses in concrete and steel will be PC and PS. So the formula for strain in concrete will be equal to the strain in steel. That means स्टील जितनी वैल्यू से इलोंगेट होगा और जितनी वैल्यू से स्ट्रेन की स्टील की डायमेंशन चेंज होगी, उसी की हिसाब से आपकी कंक्रीट की डायमेंशन भी क्या होगी, चेंज होगी. दैट मीन्स जो स्ट्रेन स्टील में प्रोड्यूस होगा वही स्ट्रेन कंक्रीट में प्रोड्यूस होगा. सो दैट here strain in concrete is equals to strain in steel. That means PS upon ES equals to PC upon EC. So we'll get the value of PS as modular ratio into PC, and PS as M into PC. Here M is nothing but your ES, that is Young's modulus for steel, divided by Young's modulus for concrete. That is, this is your modular ratio between steel and concrete. That means if two Young's modulus, that means two strain stress equations, if we are getting the ratio of the both the Young's modulus, we will get the modular ratio between the two components. As we have know, by after the strain calculation, we have to calculate the loads on particular members. The load on steel plus load on column will be equal to the load on concrete. Sorry, load on steel and load on concrete will be sum up and give the load on column. So by doing simple mathematical calculations, we will get PC as P upon A plus M minus A into AS. Here M is nothing but your modular ratio. Okay, this is your formula for equivalent area of composite sections. Here equivalent area is A equals to A plus M minus 1 into AS, which is your denominator. Okay, we'll get problem. This is a very easy problem. Two copper rods and one steel rod together support a right uniform beam, which is a rigid beam, weighing P force as shown in this figure, which is weighing a P force. The stresses in copper and steel are not to exceed 60 newtons per mm square and 120 newtons per mm square respectively. Find the magnitude of load P that can be safely supported. Young's modulus for steel is twice that of copper. Okay. Now here in this figure, you can see that this whole member is subjected to a load of P, which we have to calculate. Now, which is supported by two copper rod and one steel rod. The dimension for a copper rod is 40 by 40 and steel rod is 50 by 50. Now, this height is 150 mm and this height is 100 mm. The total height for steel rod will be 250 mm. Okay. Now, the area of copper will be 40 into 40, but the rods are in two numbers, so we have to multiply it by 2. So 2 into 40 by 40 will be your copper component area and steel component area will be 50 into 50. As they have here given dimensions in A into B, so we have not applied here the formula for circular area, circular cross sectional area. Now the length of copper component is 150 mm and the length of steel component is 250 mm. It's 100 plus 150. Now the decrease in length of column copper will be the decrease in length of steel, because जब column decrease copper decrease होगा तब steel भी decrease होगा. Okay, so will be delta, that whole will be your delta value. So we have already understand this, or we have already solved this. Delta equals to your EC into S, that means strain into your length. So ES upon EC equals to LC upon LS. By cross multiplying this, you will get the ratio as 0.6. ES upon EC ratio as 0.6. Now by using stress in steel, PS equals to EC upon EC and stress in column will be strain into Young's modulus. Okay, so by using the ratio of both this, PS upon PC is ES into ES upon EC into EC. But the strain ratio for steel and copper is 0.6 and the Young's modulus ratio is 2. So by multiplying this, you'll get the stress ratio as 1.2. Okay. Now by this, uh, by that equation, the PS, that is PS is equals to 1.2 into P. That is stress in steel will be 1.2 into stress in concrete. When this stress in concrete reaches 60 newtons per mm square, the stress in steel will reach as 72 newtons per mm square. Okay, which is less than permissible value. So safe total load is the summation of both steel and concrete stresses and area. So 372 kilonewtons of load is is safe for this type of composite sections. Okay, where your steel rods are immersed in that section. This second example is also very much similar to that of as first example I have explained. We'll move further for the temperature stresses in next video, and this temperature stresses and again a small part of lateral longitudinal strain is remaining for completion of this module. I hope you will understand this. I In this video I'll cover lots of example which is very similar simple examples. Simply you have to understand the mathematical calculations or mathematical part, which is very much important for this subject also. Thank you.